buddy. Let's get weird.
Guys, where are we?
Well, if there's a bright center to the universe, you're on the planet that it's farthest from.
Welcome to the Outer Rim. Enjoy your stay.
Fuck you, Mr. Milchick!
Still the right way to open a show.
I'm surprised that, like, because I can hear the Lost music there, didn't get flagged for that, and I also another weird thing is like the noise from like when the coming through his head.
Mm-hmm.
That's the noise that Large Marge makes in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Nice. That's a nice choice.
Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun, and we're back talking Severance. We're getting severed here every Friday, Saturday night, maybe Thursdays. And
Sometime at the end of the week.
I get severed every day, twice on Sundays. And with me as always is my friend Darren Jakes from D's Reviews, where currently we're over there doing Daredevil Born Again on Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 6 Pacific. And unfortunately for the East Coasters, it's 9 o'clock. But, hey, how are you going to do? We all live in different time zones. And, boy, this is, okay, full spoilers and all this other stuff going on and everything. We were concerned. There was some concern, I guess, about whether or not 37 minutes is not long enough to tell a story. And I said, don't worry about it. They got this covered, man. And they do. They do. They had, once again, laser beam focus, telling an important part of the story as we kick off. And I mean, I had to, like, by the time it was over and they played this. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long I can play that before I get copyrighted.
We're doing a test of the system, folks.
Yes, but that's what I always do. I'm always messing around with the system. Firewoman, you're to blame. Firewoman, you're to blame. Oh my God. The return of Patricia Arquette does not disappoint in a very creepy, sad, and surprising as usual, and twists that come out and have game-changing applications here. Motivations are still in question, but good, bad, it doesn't matter. You've got a really bad ass lady coming after you. And I just, her comeback to the show needed to be something big. And at first it felt like it was going to be small and just really good looking, the cinematography and everything.
Oh yeah.
Really moody and you're there in this environment. And instead we get a tour de force from Patricia Arquette in like a half an hour. And
yeah, and I didn't even notice. I had forgotten that it was a shorter episode. That's how engrossing it was from beginning to end. It was like, you're right. It was the perfect length to tell the story it needed to.
Yeah, it just came in and got out. She's left. We don't know where it is. I don't know where she is, man. I felt like she was driving to Norway or something. We saw the real Rena in the chat. Just nailed it. We saw the real Cold Harbor.
Yeah, seriously.
Seriously. But it just reminded me of like Christopher Nolan's Memento. Just the way it's shot, the like real bleakness of it all. But it really felt like we were in another country. I don't know where they filmed this scene, but
I think it actually was in Norway. It was like a Norwegian isle or something. They talk about it at the little end after the episode, the little behind the scenes things. It's like, I think the cinematographer had shot something there recently and was just like, this is where we need to go. So yeah, it's like some tiny little island off of some fjord.
Yeah. So no, I hope that they don't take it as a diss that they filmed there.
Newfoundland, Canada. Sorry, Rena
Yeah.
is thank you, Rena.
To find a place that looked like completely wiped out by just sad about how this company can't, like, I still don't know. I don't think we know all the details yet, but from Missy or Sissy or whoever she was, there was no town before Lumen, but after, like, what they did, there's not a town anyway. And the devastation that they left behind. And it's not just places, like companies like Lumen that can come in and just destroy a place. It happens all over the country. And this one just happens to be about some real creepy shit with child labor laws. And it makes me think about, like, clearly they were found out and they had to shut down. And yet somehow these people are now at the forefront of, like, technology that's used to sever people in the workplace. These people who had child labor camps, factories going on, and now this is and now that it's all shut down and there's just people huffing paint on the street, and James LaGrosse, poor James LaGrosse,
Well, they do a great job with this, is really showing how a corporation extracts the very life out of an area when it does this type of thing. Is, yes, Sissy remarks that there was nothing before Lumen came, but then they allowed a town to grow, they allowed jobs, they allowed a certain amount of growth, support, community. They sort of breed life in order to extract all the minerals, some mining or whatever that they did. Yeah, we're just saying the factory that made ether. I'm not sure if they actually made ether there, but yeah, that's what they're all huffing, which of course leans back to the whole Kier thing of meeting in the ether factory, which just adds all sorts of layers to it. But not only did they take the town's money, when they exploit everything that they had, but they took the people too. Harmony came out of this. It's like they go in, find the best of whatever's in an area, suck it, extract it all out, and then leave the husk when they're done with it and move on. And so when Harmony's like, I remember this town was, this is older and frailer. It's age. Everyone's on life support. And again, sucking on ether of all things, in order to get high. For that one moment out of life is like, oh, it's like zombie town.
Real sad. Just, you don't really need to see a whole lot of the people that live there. They're probably in that room practically.
Yeah.
You got the one guy who he sits and talks to, just, yeah, and then the older lady that he flirts with, and then it's that whole place that sums up the whole place. That and the guy in the broken down RV huffing too. This just made me sad. It was really, really powerful, but it just made me really sad. And this show keeps being more and more poignant without even trying, with everything that's going on in our world right now. And it's just, you see that the economy collapse for a town, and then you look around, like, at everything that we're facing down, like we're facing down the barrel of a gun every single day, not knowing how long our businesses will last anymore. And So that being on my mind really just kind of brought it down, like, because I was able to appreciate everything, because again, this episode looked fantastic.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
don't just mean like the big epic shots. I mean, like, again, how they invoke the feeling of this town in every scene of just, you're like one little pane of, like, not every show exudes like cold well, but like
Mhm.
even in that house, you felt cold and empty, like hollowed out. Everything's old and dusty, like it's just been like a place that time forgot. And all these people are forgotten too. And yet somehow Lumen is still there. There's still a presence even after it's
Yeah.
just an empty husk of a place. There's still the lingering factors. And you think she's crazy or that she can't be. And we said, like, what would happen if she had gotten in that car? And now we know, like, maybe it really could have just been paranoia or whatever. But now that we know, because I don't know how long this video is even going to be because of how short and to the point it really is. I'm being serious.
No. I agree. We were talking beforehand that this is like, look, I barely have notes. It's almost an experiential episode. It
Yeah.
is about that bleakness, that sadness, that emptiness. The only way that you can get us to feel sympathy for a cold, manipulative, liar like Harmony Cobell is to bring her home and see what happened to her, what was she extracted of, and ultimately that she herself is a victim of Lumen in kind of every way.
Yeah. Because there's the indoctrination. And we get to see, like, we see the weird shrines, that kind of level that's so creepy. And then they throw her away after everything, and we don't really understand why, other than she's just a true believer. And we see this again. There are people like this that we see every day. Turn on your television, throw a rock, and you'll hit one of these people. But then they went and did something and made her a real, like, not just the big the big villain, the cigarette smoking man of Severance. No, they went and made her a whole person in this episode by showing all the things that put into context what has happened before. Like I was bringing up why she was afraid to get in that car.
Right.
And that everything she's done for these people was for what she was taught. Everything is for all people, and this is all this big communal, which is very communist, I think. That way of like everything is for, like we all share all.
Oh yeah, well it's the usage of any power structure in order to instill an ideology that supplicates you and all of your sense of self to the larger purpose. And that the people who are therefore speaking of or representing the larger purpose cannot be questioned. It works for religion. It works in politics. We see it even now that people were willing to supplicate themselves for a belief for a larger, stronger position. And it becomes something else when you actually have to think and find. And what we start to see here is, as dark and you're right, as much as Harmony believed and gave all, that is always the most dangerous enemy to any power structure, is a true believer who finds the truth.
Yeah.
Because then they know all the tricks, they know all the things. I mean, this is how that is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that that's another parallel that we can make now is that, I think some of the biggest enemies that are going to be made in our world right now are going to be people that were true believers of what they were being sold and now are finding out. And there's going to be some people that aren't going to be like fine with this. And I think that these are there's little Harmony Cobells all over this country ready to pop off.
Oh yeah.
But when we find out, like, this is crazy that we find out that she's the architect, she's the person with all the ideas, and a billionaire just comes in and swoops it up. And after doing what she thought was the way she was taught, they come and take it from her because they would just say like what they say now. Don't you care about all of us? Why are you so worried about yourself? We're just, like, we're the name. We're the people that can sell your idea and make this for all. But I'm going to take all the credit and make sure that we benefit from all of this. While your town, we leave it in ashes. And everyone with it, including you. And if you get in our way, you will get killed. And now that also adds another level to Helly, who is now know is willing to go along or help commit murder.
Yeah.
So that's just another extra layer.
There's that extra betrayal level of like, you've created me simply as Helly especially, you've created me simply as some marketing tool. And I'm that useless to you. Yeah, it's really, they're doing an excellent job of really showing, well, the cold-heartedness of Lumen itself. Because you would think that as the person who created Severance, apparently a huge thing for this company, been used for years, that they wouldn't take care of her mom, that she would have had the best medical stuff, that all, again, it's all of these things. It really is that just extractive, and we say we care when we do not. And I think one of the things that we've seen with that is especially what the recanonization. God, I couldn't remember the one they did of the Kier paintings for Milchek. Recanonization, yes. Of those for him, it's just kind of like, this is how actual pointless your thing is. We can shift it and change it for whatever you need, whatever vision is going to make you accept it, use. Doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter because it's all fake.
And they also, like, something that, like, I felt like paralleled some of the ways I feel about my own job is she comes up with all these ideas. Mm-hmm. She could do all this, and yet they take credit, but they let her manage it. They let her be the person that can fail and fall and take the blame when anything goes down. And at the same time, that person thinks that this is theirs. They've come to believe it's theirs because they're the ones that are doing the work. They're the ones that are down there in it. They're the ones who have to fix all the problems and answer for everything. And it made me feel it, and then how quickly that they will take that away from you and remind you that you're nothing, even though you're the one who put all the work in. And that is another freaking thing that is so important that is happening today, of people that don't actually do anything are the ones that are in control of everything. The ones that don't actually have any ideas will let you work on the idea and they'll claim it's theirs. There's a certain jerk off in our world right now
who is often considered one of the smartest people, and he's an idiot.
The loudest jerk of them all is one of those people. And I swear, man, like, some shows just feel like they drop out of the sky at the most perfect moment. And it's like, even though this show is a couple of years old, it's almost like, let's take our time. Let's take a couple of years, because I have a feeling that in a couple more years, this show is going to be way more relevant and it's going to become way more popular. And one of the main reasons why I'm so loving how many people are loving this show is because of what it's about and what people can learn and start thinking about. Because hell, man, they elected the motherfucker because he was on television. Maybe they can actually learn some lessons by watching shows like this. If they take it all in like it's real, then let's hope that some people out there maybe can like smarten up watching shows like this. I don't mean to get on a soapbox about it, but
no, but that is the power of the media. I mean, that is the power of, and when I say the media, I'm not talking about news. I'm talking about film, television, the visual, interactive media like this, is because films, these are effectively emotional stories.
Yeah.
That we were saying the plot is the A to B to C and so on, but what they're actually doing are taking you on an emotional journey, whether it be excitement or sadness or joy, and you got to have the ups and you got to have the downs. And through that emotional journey, it hopes to convey a good film or show, convey a message that you can relate to because now you have an emotional connection to these things. It's why it can be such a powerful form of expression and such a powerful art, and also why it can be so dangerous if it's blasting propaganda to you on some channel in the background 24/7, wherever you go. That's a bad thing. But something like this is where you can identify with people and then suddenly see like, oh, what is the world like through their eyes?
Yeah.
And have that emotional journey. That is how we can. So yes, I mean, with all this stuff, hopefully this is what opens people's eyes to the larger picture. Dare I say, wake them up from their sleep.
And so I did want to bring up James LaGrosse again because I just felt bad for this character had to do a lot with very little time. He's a really good actor. He's been going forever. I don't know how old he is, but he always seems to look kind of the same age. And the fact that he's one of these people that he's the one that's left behind, and yet she comes a calling, and it's this whole how like the old feelings of we were child laborers, yet he still goes immediately. He doesn't hesitate for 1 second. He's already closing up and he's already driving across the line. And not just because he has nothing else to do, but because there is something that to what she says about whether it was not whether it was, even though it was a child labor factory, there's still that connection there that like bonds workers.
Yeah.
Now you maybe thought I was going another direction, but to me, it is that bond of workers. There's wherever you work, you will always, and this is just, not every place has got child laborers.
No.
Well, it seems like wherever you work, man, even though you will talk crap about each other at times, like this person's not doing this and this person's not doing that. Anytime anybody messes with other workers,
sure,
suddenly we're all the big brother or the big sister. And this guy is that kind of, he's still got that for it, where it's like, I still want to help this person that I was in this situation with. And I think the same happens in wartime. The same kind of emotional attachments from war are at work. And that just makes work feel more like a war every day.
There's a line in Stranger Things. I think it's probably season 2 or something. Anyway, with Murray, and he's talking to the two kids, and he's talking about what's going to bond them together. He says, and you've got the really good stuff, shared emotional trauma. And that's what really brings you together. And of course, that was more of a cheesy romantic thing. But it's true in these circumstances. When you go through these traumatic things, when you have to share this suffering, it kind of binds you together in this, like you said, a brotherhood or familyhood, I guess, would be the larger statement of that. And so, yeah, it's I think you're right. This is one of those things where, like, we were chums as kids and we used to do all these stuff. And even though we've all gone our separate ways, that still has value. I think also considering how much he hates Lumen and that he could do something to maybe screw them over is also an extra little bit of cream on top for him.
Now, at the end of this, right, he says they're coming. Do we actually see anybody coming?
We see the headlights coming of a
Okay.
vehicle. She drives away, and then so it's like she comes up and they're coming up off this lower road. So, I mean, I don't know why they don't just turn and chase, and perhaps not, or maybe she doesn't have her headlights on. I just know that she went off, but you could see the headlights coming towards them. So, you know, was it going to be a fight? Was it going to be a lie? Was it going to be whatever? Does it matter?
No.
Yeah.
But Devin, she answers Devin's call. I'm still weirded out by this because it's the only part to me that's still like, okay, I guess I guess the desperate move is that they are afraid Mark's gonna die from what he's trying to do. And in that desperation, they're calling the devil. And now Firewoman is way more relevant.
But what a devil!
To know everything that's happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but what a devil! I mean, again, it's like part of it's like, why would you reach out to this person? Of course, it's the only other person that you know inside that dealt with the severance. But little do you know, you just hit the jackpot of knowledge. The one person that could fix Mark, that could clean things up, that could turn everything around. But what's her, what's Harmony's motivation in all of this? And how much is there? Has she been watching Mark because it's some sort of creator who is watching both sides and she's taking this job in order to see how it's all holding and serving or whatever? Or does she have some other larger purpose of all her own?
What's in those notes besides all that?
Yeah.
Is there an end game in those notes? That's that I would really like to know. And then how do you think she's gonna go about this? Because she had said that Drummond said they'll take you back. You just have to. So I think, are we looking at basically a double agent situation where she's gonna go in to go back to what she's supposed to be doing, and in actuality trying to now figure out how to blow it all up with the help of the innies and the outies?
I mean,
and maybe she's the bridge.
That would be the real interesting question. I think that would almost be too simple for the show because she has to be a volatile person. Where is her loyalty actually going to be? What is her actual motivation in the end of this? That would be kind of interesting to hold on. I mean, yeah, she would be the ultimate ally to come in that really knows how the whole system. The only thing that I would throw in is I don't think she trusts that they would take her back. I think she reads that from Sissy as just a, yes, deeper into my web, climb up and hold on. I will be right there. It's basically a beckoning to come on here and we'll take care of you. Yeah, they're going to take care of her. Not in the good way, in the bad way, and bang, bang stuff.
So then maybe she'll end up working with, I always forget her name. Ray, forget it. The lady who was doing that to Mark. Maybe
Doc,
they'll end up.
It's just what I've been calling her because I keep forgetting her name. I'm a horrible. We're horrible reviewers and we don't know all the characters' names.
Yeah. They'll have to work together to try to figure something out. Maybe. I don't know. Again, the speculation is once that turns on, I never turn it off. Woodrow says Mark must really want that throuple with Miss Cobell. Who can blame him? If we're talking true romance era, Patricia Arquette, sure. Okay. Sure.
Well,
Although
it's
I
amazing.
wanted to say, but
She still looks
saying that,
great. Yeah.
saying that made me think, and I was watching her today, and there were moments in this episode where I saw young Patricia Arquette.
Oh,
There
sure.
were certain,
I think if her makeup's on and her hair's back and all that, when she takes on different persona, I just think that she is basically living Cobell, even in the interviews and such. She's interviewing almost like Cobell's giving the interview and not Patricia Arquette. I think this is just the dedication that she has to it.
well, I think she brought out that younger self a little bit in her performance, because when she went back home, it's like they treat her like a child still. And so, and your parents do that. And there is certain ways that you can suddenly flip on. And if you're with somebody, they can be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, who are you all of a sudden? When you're around certain people, you act different, especially around family. I know from experience that sometimes people just turn on another level, and you're just like, okay. And I feel like I did see, like, when she was challenged, I saw her, like, like the young version of her pop out in the eyes and the way she talked. I was like, dang, man, you sound like you're 20 years younger in this. And that's just another sign of how great she is. And even though I've said, I didn't watch Medium because no, I didn't watch The Ghost Whisperer either. And I'm not watching, you know what I'm saying? I've watched shows where people talk to dead people, but not those. So I missed out on a big chunk of her career, but she was also excellent on Boardwalk Empire. She was excellent in that Hulu series about that girl who killed her mom, that girl that's out there now that they treat like a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
That woman was a monster, but either way, her performance of that, just fantastic. And then showing up here, I'll be honest, when she first showed up on this, when I knew she was going to be in this show, I was like, yeah, good, great. She's all right. But when she first moment she's on screen, I realized, oh God, like this is going to be the biggest like performance on the show. And man, she just missed. I think I'm just rambling now.
That's okay.
But like,
I
kissing
mean,
Patricia Arquette. I mean, we kiss the show's ass like every time we talk about it, but like, she just continues to like astound me at how good she is.
well, and it's another one of those episodes that, of course, there is dialogue, but so much of that storytelling and so much of that emotion is done with reaction to feel, and her just going in and like pulling out the breathing tube for her mom and plugging in the machine and kind of falling asleep as a way to connect and re-experience. I mean, it's like there's such a blend of creepiness and heart and sadness that permeates through all of these types of things. You do see it a lot. I guess that's why I was thinking of Norway and not Canada, Newfoundland. They both have this way of filming that cold starkness, that bleakness of an all white. It's like everything is washed out, and everything is cold and everything is kind of lifeless. And as you mentioned, they really managed to permeate that throughout with every scene on here. And it's just, it just goes through, it just permeates all of the emotional moments within this as well. When you had talked about the kids, I have to say the creepiest line in this episode, for me at least, was when she's taking the ether and she just laughs and she's like, I haven't done this since I was 8 years old. Like, that's so sad and yet also heartfelt. Like, it's a connecting moment between us type kind of thing. And I'm enjoying that thing, that connection with my youth. But it's like, yeah, but you're 8 and you're huffing ether. What the kind of life is that? So anyway,
yeah, it made me think of Helena Bonham Carter You made me think of Helena
exactly.
Bonham Carter in that Fight Club scene.
Yes.
I'm not going to say what she says in that scene
No,
because I've
there's
never
no
been
need.
comfortable with it. But you know what
But
I'm
yes,
talking about. We're just like,
it's
whoa.
I thought of the exact same thing, and I'm just glad you brought it up and not me.
Oh, I'll bring up anything from Fight Club. I don't care. So I know this is gonna sound weird, but like for my favorite, it's time for our favorite moment because we really have like mined this already. So for me, if I'm honest, my favorite moment is honestly the entire 37 minutes because to me it felt like one long scene. We never cut away to do anything else. This is from start to finish, Harmony Cobell finding out you can't go home again, but you can find your plans for Severance and then go back home and plan their demise. And it was just this big chunk of story that I really, really didn't even know I wanted or needed. They gave it to me in a bite-sized thing where I could just sit and focus on one character, and the whole thing was again. The early reviews saying, "Oh, Severance season 2 is it's okay, but it really doesn't touch the highs of season 1." And I'm thinking to myself, "You dumb fucks." Last episode was like this. People are like, "Oh my god, oh my god." And some people might not say as glowing things about this. They might be like, well, yeah, it's high on character, but it doesn't really do this or that and the other. And to me, if you're a fan of actors and you're a fan of character and how that character can, maybe it's not moving the plot forward now, but if you read this chapter in a book, Harmony Cobell goes home, like say Stephen King wrote it or something, this would be one of the most important chapters of that book. And that's why the whole thing is my favorite. I'm not gonna cut out any of it because it felt like a little short film about just but the performances, unbelievable.
It's a couple of actors in a couple of locations, and it's all told, and you're right. I'd forgotten that this was a shorter episode. I thought it went quick, but I didn't even think about checking the time afterwards. I mean, again, it was so much of that where it did just feel in. Again, I can't really extract any other big moment. If there is, it's all of these kind of like strung together little moments that give that emotional tale so much from, I mean, even just the moments in connecting, with her childhood friend that drove her to sissies and, had her back and, and all the little journeys they have from their face off and facing each other when they first meet to that moment inside where they share the ether and just have that little moment. Like, are they reconnecting in kind of this, we never went where we could possibly go, back in the day because we went on different paths, to the you get out of here, I got your back kind of separation. And so many of those are told just with looks and moments and singular lines.
Environment, the cinematography, the feel that they pull you into this whole thing. And if this had if there was no connection to Severance or Lumen or anything, and this was just about a lady who goes home to find her town empty after being child labor laws and everything, and just you can't go home again, finding out all the stuff about her mother and everything, this would be like an Oscar-worthy short film.
And you would still understand the whole journey within it. Even not knowing anything about Cobell or larger of Severance, you could understand that this was somebody cast aside, going back home to reclaim what was taken from them. And now they're on a journey of redemption or reclamation, or just to say, I don't care. I just want everyone to know that I did it. Maybe it's just that simple for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, It is a complete story in that sense. You don't need to know anything ahead of time to understand the story and get out of it, what it was trying to convey.
That's why I love doing these with you, man, because we just can, when I realize where we go in our conversations with each other and the audience and everything, I'm just like, man, I just love being able to talk about this show on this level. And that's pretty much how we're going to end it, I think. I don't think I really have anything else. I did want to bring attention to something that I did post on our Discord, and I'm going to bring it up again here, is because we're talking about a show about work and everything, and I feel where I live, it's I'm in a blue state. I'm very happy about that, but I'm in a very red area.
Sure.
And it makes it very hard to be around this area, even though I'm close to other things during my weekly life where I'm trapped here and I don't really have much wiggle room to move around. I'm around all these people and it makes you feel really alone. And then somebody was my hero yesterday and hung this up. And I'm prefacing this, giving some context here, because when Joe Biden was elected, people would hang stickers that had Joe Biden, and they would point to a price going up as if he controls inflation. And it says, I did that. Now, I expected that. It made me mad, but I expect it from this area. But then somebody was my hero yesterday and hung this sticker up in the department that I work in, that I manage. And I just thought, this is great. This is what you voted for. Two can play at that little silly sticker game. And so to that person out there in my town or wherever you came from, thanks. Because you made me feel a little less alone in this shitty time period we're living in.
Yeah.
And it makes me realize that not every single person here in this area is another one of those ignoramuses. And yeah, that's where I'm going to end it. Darren, what are you up to if people were jumping in just now and didn't see the beginning?
I did see the... you can catch me over at D's Reviews. I got to hit this one last little thing, though. Sorry, I looked down at my notes. My wife had brought this up. Irving is old enough to have possibly be in the program with Harmony. I wonder if there is some connection in the background, and that's why he's after Lumen, or if his home was destroyed, much like this place is. But age-wise, they're kind of close, so I am wondering if he may have had some early connection with the Lumen Severance experiments. Also, her reaction to the term fealty when Sissy brings it up. We demand fealty from, and that's what throws her off. And that's why I think she wants more of Lumen's destruction than just to claim credit for it. Anyway, I had looked down at my notes and I found those, and I wanted to be sure to throw those
some
out.
Extra stuff. Always good for some extra stuff.
Yeah, I'm at D's Reviews. We are doing Wednesday night Daredevil with this fella right here. Really enjoy the show. Excited about the episodes that are coming up. You can also catch me over on Enchantment of Eternity on Tuesday night, where we're doing Mark's #1 Star Trek episode of all time. It is a good one. I'm really excited about talking about this. It is an amazing episode. And if you want to know what it is, you're going to have to jump over to Enchantment of Eternity and check us out. That's Tuesday night at 6:00 Pacific. And then, of course, here every Friday talking about Severance. So excited, man. They bring so much. I don't care what people say. First season, second season, that told its story. This is telling it, but this is so much more immersive, emotional. This is a real journey as opposed to just sort of a plot-driven story. And I'm sad there's only 2 episodes left, but I cannot imagine what greatness they're going to bring to us. So next week we'll be talking about more right here.
Yes. And just for everybody in the audience that likes to watch these live, we're going to be trying to record this next Thursday because we've got other things going on. And in order to get the video out as fast as possible for those of us that really want to immediately talk about this show, that's how we're going to do it. So expect the episode to drop either Thursday night late or still sometime Friday, as probably late in the afternoon. Maybe I'll drop it right after the show air. No, it's already going to be out. So no, I'm just going to put it out as soon as I can. So that's for next week's.
Is that 2 weeks from now? It's on the 21st normal show. We'll figure out. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were changing next week's.
No, it's the final night.
Oh, okay, the final one. Okay, yeah. Well, in 2 weeks, folks, we'll be doing that. Otherwise, over here on my channel, and go to D's Reviews and subscribe to his channel. Over here on my channel, yeah, we're talking Severance. I'm over there doing Daredevil, and we do comics, games, everything on my channel. I'm always a busy beaver now. I worked, like, I got up early. I've been at work since 7. I came home and I recorded 2 more videos before I even watched this episode tonight. I recorded 2 new videos that I'll be putting together. One for Rogue the Savage Land.
Nice.
We just did Uncanny X-Men 269 as a preview for that story. And then we are also going to be I just did a video for, and this has nothing to do with Captain America Brave New World. It has to do with the creative team on this book. We're doing Red Hulk #1 with Benjamin Percy writing. And it has ties to the big event book, One World Under Doom, where Doom's got the whole world under his string, very much tying into like what they're planning on doing for the MCU, wanting to get people used to Doom being a presence. And it also has ties to this book called Dr. Doom and Rocket Raccoon. And that video will have all that stuff inside, all that goodness in it, as soon as I can get it up and do some editing and get it all out to you guys. So that's it. My name's Rob. Be good to each other. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.
Bye.
Fuck you, Mr. Milchick!
Ba-ba-ba-bum. Ba-bum-bum-bum. Bum-bum-bum-bum. 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 Ba-bum-bum-bum.